What if I told you the most beloved comedian in the history of pop music built his entire career on one rule, and the one time that rule was broken for him, it nearly destroyed everything he had? Not a drug problem, not a label dispute, not a bad album, a fax, a phone call, a permission slip that never actually existed. He spent 30 years asking nicely, being the good guy, the one who always called ahead, always respected the artist, always walked away with a handshake and a yes. And when somebody finally said yes on his behalf without actually asking, the whole thing exploded, publicly, humiliatingly, in front of millions of people who had no idea the song they were singing along to had been built on a lie. If you haven't done so, like and subscribe. Here is how Weird Al Yankovic turned rejection into a career, and how one fake yes almost ended it. To understand why any of this matters, you have to understand what Weird Al Yankovic actually built. Not a novelty act, not a gimmick with an accordion, a machine, a 40-year engine of precision comedy that ran on one thing above everything else: respect. Al grew up in Linwood, California, the only child of a factory worker and a secretary. Quiet kid, awkward kid, the kind of kid who got a mail-order accordion at age 7 because his parents thought it sounded like a good idea and then watched their son actually master it. He was playing Dr. Demento's radio show by the time he was 16, recording songs in a bathroom at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo on a borrowed tape machine while his classmates were at parties. His first real break came in 1982. He called Michael Jackson's management, got through somehow, and asked permission to parody Beat It. He was nobody. Jackson was the biggest star on the planet. The answer came back yes. Eat It went to number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. Al went from unknown to unavoidable in about 30 days. And that was the moment the rule got cemented. Ask first. Always ask. Not because the law requires it. Parody sits in a complicated gray area under fair use doctrine. And Al could have made the argument, but he never wanted to. He wanted the artist to know. He wanted the handshake. He wanted to walk into every project with permission in his pocket and goodwill on both sides. It was a gentleman's agreement he imposed on himself. And for years, it worked beautifully. Madonna suggested, like a surgeon herself, called his people and pitched the idea.
Like a surgeon. Hey!
Kurt Cobain heard the pitch for Smells Like Nirvana, and his first question was whether it was going to be about food. When Al told him it was about how nobody could understand Nirvana's lyrics, Cobain laughed and signed off immediately. Chamillionaire won a Grammy for Ridin', and personally thanked Al on the red carpet. Telling him that White and Nerdy had made the original song a cultural touchstone and probably handed him the award.
Got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your 40 out, just have an Earl Grey tea.
This was the economy Al had built. Goodwill in, goodwill out. A career constructed entirely on the foundation of asking nicely and meaning it. But there was one artist who never said yes. Not once, not ever. Prince. Al pitched ideas for 1999. No. When Doves Cry. No. Kiss. No. No explanation. No counteroffer. Just... No, delivered swiftly and without ceremony through layers of management, every single time. The strange part, and this detail matters, is that Al later heard a bootleg recording of Prince in his own studio, listening to Fat, the parody of Bad, and laughing, genuinely laughing.
Just watch your mouth, or I'll sit on you. The word is out.
Prince appreciated the work. He just refused to let it touch his own catalog. His music was not available for reimagining, not by anyone, not for any reason. Al walked away each time. No argument, no appeal. That was the agreement. If the artist said no, the answer was no. And so, Weird Al Yankovic kept building, album after album, parody after parody. Each one cleared, each one approved, each one delivered with the handshake intact. By the mid-90s, he was one of the most reliable commercial forces in comedy music. 5 Grammy nominations, gold records, a fan base that spanned every generation that had ever owned a radio. And then came 1996, in a song called Gangsta's Paradise. And somebody made a phone call that Al knew nothing about.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at.
But here's the turn. Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio was not just a hit, it was a phenomenon. #1 in the United States for 8 weeks straight. #1 in 17 other countries. One of the defining songs of 1995, dark, cinematic, built around a Stevie Wonder sample that gave it a weight most rap songs never reached. It was everywhere, in cars, in living rooms, in movie theaters attached to the Michelle Pfeiffer film, Dangerous Minds. Al heard it and immediately knew. This was the one. The contrast was perfect. Take the grimmest, most serious rap anthem of the year and set it in an Amish community. Trade the street corners for barn raisings. Trade the violence for butter churning. Amish Paradise.
Jebediah feeds the chickens and Jacob plows. Fool and I've been milking and plow.
He could see the whole thing. So he did what he always did. He went through the proper channels. His label, Scotti Brothers Records, reached out to Coolio's camp to request permission. And the word that came back was yes. Al had no reason to doubt it. This was the system. This was how it always worked. Management talks to management, permission is granted, everybody moves forward. He had done this dozens of times. The process was reliable because it had to be reliable. His entire reputation depended on it. So he went to work, wrote the lyrics, built the track, filmed the video in full Amish costume, complete with beard and suspenders and a horse-drawn buggy. The production was meticulous. The parody was precise. It was one of the most fully realized things he had ever made. Amish Paradise was released in 1996 as the lead single from his album Bad Hair Day.
Just plain and simple guys living in an Amish paradise. Got a Bible in my hand and a beard on my chin. But if I finish all of my chores and...
The video went into heavy rotation. Radio picked it up. It was exactly the kind of cultural moment Al had built his career producing. And then Coolio saw it, and Coolio had never said yes. What had actually happened, and this is the part that changes everything, is that someone in the permission chain had either misunderstood, miscommunicated, or simply assumed. The yes that Al's label reported back to him had not come from Coolio directly. It had come from somewhere in the middle, a manager, a representative, someone who either did not have the authority to grant permission or who never actually asked. Coolio went public immediately. He told reporters he had never approved the parody. He said he was offended. He said Gangsta's Paradise was not a song to be laughed at.
Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on.
It was a song about real pain, real stakes, real lives. And now it was a song about people who refused to pay their phone bill for 300 years. The story exploded. For the first time in his career, Weird Al Yankovic was not the good guy. He was the guy who had stolen something. The guy who had taken a serious black artist's most important work and turned it into a punchline without permission. The framing was brutal and it spread fast. Al was blindsided, mortified. He said publicly that he would never have moved forward if he had known Coolio objected. He wrote a personal letter of apology, sincere, direct, no deflection. He took responsibility for the outcome, even though the breakdown had happened somewhere above him in the chain. He never heard back. The record label did not pull the song. The video stayed in rotation. Amish Paradise kept climbing. And Weird Al Yankovic spent the promotional cycle for his biggest single in years, fielding questions about whether he was a thief instead of talking about the music. The song he had built on a lie was now the most visible thing he had ever made. And the one rule that had protected him for 15 years, the rule he had never broken, had been broken on his behalf by someone he had trusted to do one simple thing. And the worst part was still coming. Think about what it meant to be Weird Al Yankovic in 1996. You had spent 15 years being the nicest man in a business that rewarded ruthlessness. You had called ahead every single time. You had walked away from Prince 3 times without a single public complaint. You had taken Paul McCartney's rejection of Chicken Pot Pie, a parody of Live and Let Die that McCartney himself had previously told Al he could make.
Job to do, you gotta do it well. You got to give me a
With complete grace, simply because McCartney was a vegetarian and could not in good conscience endorse a song about eating meat. You had accepted Michael Jackson's No on Snack All Night, the parody of Black or White.
never satisfied with 3 meals a day. While the world is sleeping.
Without argument, because Jackson felt the song's message about racial unity was too important to be made funny. Every time the answer was no, you nodded and moved on and found something else. You had built the entire architecture of your career on that one behavior, and now you were watching it burn. Not because you had broken the rule, because someone else had broken it for you. You probably owned a Weird Al cassette at some point, maybe Dare to Be Stupid from 1985, or even worse from 88.
Dare to be stupid. You can turn the other cheek. You can just give up.
Lucky man, I'm the only one who gets it.
Maybe you had the UHF soundtrack. Maybe you just knew the songs from the radio. Eat It on the drive to school, Like a Surgeon on a Friday night, Amish Paradise blasting out of someone's car window in the summer of '96.
So it's as primitive as can be. We've been
While you sang every word and had absolutely no idea that the man who made it was in the middle of the worst professional crisis of his life. That was the song. That was the moment. And behind it was a man sitting in the wreckage of his own reputation, wondering how the one thing he had never done had become the thing everyone believed he had done. But here is the kicker. Coolio eventually changed his mind. Not immediately, not quietly. Years later, in interviews, Coolio admitted publicly that he had handled it badly. He said he had been too protective, too proud, too focused on his own magnitude. He said, and this is the line that lands hardest, that Michael Jackson had let Al parody Beat It and Bad.
You can't so beat it, but you wanna be bad to me. I'm bad, you're more. You know I'm bad.
And nobody thought less of Jackson for it. He said refusing Al had been one of the dumbest decisions of his career. He apologized, and Al, who had written a letter that was never answered, accepted it. No drama, no press release, no public scorecard. Just 2 men resolving something that should never have become a crisis in the first place. But the resolution did not erase what had happened in between. And what had happened in between revealed something about the music industry that Al's entire career had been quietly papering over. The permission system that Al had built his reputation on was not actually a system. It was a courtesy, a gentleman's agreement that worked beautifully when everyone involved was operating in good faith. And collapsed completely the moment one person in the chain decided to guess instead of ask. There were no contracts, no formal approval documents, just phone calls and handshakes, and someone eventually telling Al that everything was fine. And when it wasn't fine, Al was the one holding the wreckage. There is another story that makes this even sharper. James Blunt gave Al full personal permission to parody You're Beautiful with a track called You're Pitiful. Blunt loved the idea, said, "Go ahead."
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're suffering from delusions of adequacy.
Al recorded the song, and then Atlantic Records, Blunt's label, not Blunt himself, stepped in and vetoed the release entirely. The artist had said yes, the label said no, and the label won. So, Al released You're Pitiful as a free download on his own website. No album, no single, no promotion budget, just a file on the internet and a quiet demonstration that the people who actually create the music are often the last ones with any real power over what happens to it. That is the through line of Weird Al Yankovic's career that nobody talks about. Not the parodies, not the costumes, not the accordion. The fact that a man who spent 30 years doing everything right, calling ahead, asking nicely, walking away when the answer was no, discovered that doing everything right was not actually protection. It just meant that when something went wrong, he had further to fall. Prince never explained his refusals. McCartney blocked a song over a sandwich. A label overruled its own artist. And a permission that was never granted got reported up the chain as a yes. And the man who trusted the chain paid the price. The rule held. Al never broke it. But the rule could not protect him from the people who were supposed to be enforcing it on his behalf. And the song that came from all of that, the song born from a lie, the song that nearly ended his reputation, went on to become one of the most viewed music videos of its era. Amish Paradise is still playing, still landing.
No time for sin and vibes, living in an Amish paradise.
Still making people laugh 30 years later. Coolio's apology came. The friendship was eventually repaired. They appeared together at the 1996 American Music Awards. Al having spent 3 hours getting his hair twisted into Coolio's signature braids, wires hidden inside, scalp screaming. And Coolio saw him backstage 30 seconds before they walked out and laughed and showed him the walk. That image. Two men who had spent a year publicly feuding, standing in a hallway with matching hair, one of them teaching the other how to move. That is the story underneath the story. Not the rejection, not the scandal, the repair, but Al had learned something that no amount of goodwill could unlearn. The music business does not run on courtesy. It runs on contracts and power, and whoever happens to pick up the phone. And the nicest man in the room is always the most exposed when someone else stops being nice. Here is what you take away from all of this. Weird Al Yankovic spent 30 years proving that you could build something real on a foundation of decency. That asking nicely was not weakness. That walking away from Prince 3 times without complaint was not failure. It was character. That the handshake mattered even when the law said you did not need one. And the music business rewarded that character by handing his reputation to someone who did not ask and did not check and did not think it mattered. But here is the thing, it did not end him. It did not even slow him down. Amish Paradise kept playing. Bad Hair Day kept selling. White and Nerdy came a decade later and became his first top 10 Billboard hit. Born from a yes that arrived too late from one artist and landed perfectly with another. The machine kept running because the machine was built right. The rule survived the one time it was broken on his behalf. That is what the rule was actually for. There is a version of this story where Weird Al becomes the villain, where the Coolio scandal defines him, where the music press decides the nice guy was never really that nice. That version does not exist because the behavior was real, the letters were real, the walkaways were real. You cannot fake 30 years of handshakes. And somewhere in a hallway at the 1996 American Music Awards, Coolio is teaching Al how to walk. And they are both laughing. And none of it needed to happen the way it did. But it did. And Al is still here. Next time Amish Paradise comes on,
In an Amish paradise, we don't fight, we all play nice.
and it will come on, think about the man who wrote it. The one who called ahead every single time. The one who got burned by the one time somebody else made the call for him, and who showed up anyway, braids and all, and took the handshake. He earned it, every note of it. If this one landed, go ahead and do what Al would have asked permission to ask. Hit the like button and subscribe. To my subscribers, you already know. You rock.